Hello Mridula, how are
Hello,
you?
sir. I'm good, sir.
All right. So Mridula, how has been your time that you spent with Trishul Defence Academy? How did you find your preparation for the SSB?
So I felt great because after coming here, I removed my hesitation to speak in front of people. It was a great experience because I removed my stage fear, and especially during lecturates.
All right, all right.
Yes, sir.
And how did you select this particular academy for your preparation of the SSB?
So actually, my brother is more interested in defense forces than me, and he always keeps on searching about which is the best institute for me in my hometown.
All
So
right.
he selected this for me.
All right. So I hope all our guidance sessions that we did for you, I hope it came up to the expectations.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
All right, Mridula, in this session of yours, this is the interview technique that we will be going on.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to conduct a mock interview for you.
Yes, sir.
More emphasis will be on the feedback that I would want to give you at the end of this interview,
Okay, sir.
which should help you actually to be careful about when you go for a real interview in the SSB.
Yes, sir.
And when is your SSB scheduled?
So it's on 29th of August, 3 FSB Gandhinagar.
All right. So you still have a lot of time after this.
Yes, sir.
Remember, this is just the beginning.
Yes, sir.
You will need to keep continuing your preparations, those action plans that we have given you for your preparation for the SSB, continue with them.
Yes, sir.
Some information from your PIQ form that you filled up
Yes, sir.
at the beginning of this guidance sessions,
Yes, sir.
I've got from there. Now is the time for you to talk to me in more details.
Yes, sir.
All right. I've seen that you come from Prayagraj itself.
Yes, sir.
You belong to Prayagraj. How long have you been in Prayagraj? What is it that you like about Prayagraj? You've been a student here. Something about Prayagraj that you don't find so amenable. And also, how has Prayagraj changed over the last few years that you've seen and observed? What are the changes that you find?
So, since my father is an ex-serviceman of the Indian Army, so I have spent only 10 years in Prayagraj. So, I've done my initial education in Gaya and then Kolkata. And from 2011 onwards, I'm completely in Prayagraj.
Okay.
So, after coming here, I have found best friends. I still have friends from my school time. So this is the best thing that I admire about Prayagraj, that I've got some friends who could be with me for my entire life. And the thing that I like about Prayagraj is the culture. It's culturally very rich. The people here are very helpful, especially in my locality. The main problem or the area of improvement that I feel in Prayagraj is that we cannot step out of our homes after it gets dark. This is what I think it would be better if girls, especially girls, get to step out. And so, did I miss something?
So you feel that there is a problem as far as the security or the safety of the girls is concerned?
So as far as I have realized in past 10 years, it is a problem.
Is there any experience or any misadventure you had in this?
So if we go through the local newspaper, we will find many small instances like this. Recently, near the IERT ground, a girl was abducted and killed by some mischievous boys.
Achha.
This is what these kind of incidents are something that makes girls feel unsafe in Prayagraj.
All right. Now, you came here in the year 2011.
Yes, sir.
A lot of important events have happened since 2011
Yes, sir.
to 2022.
Yes, sir.
Something that you can remember in these last 13 years or the 10 years that have gone past?
Yes, sir. So I have got to see the largest fair in the world. It was a huge crowd. And the next thing that I saw was the complete change of the look of Prayagraj that happened a few years ago. That was the major thing, but because coming from Kolkata, I had always admired of street lights and the zebra crossing, if it could be possible in Prayagraj also. But the government has done tremendous work regarding this, and I was very happy with the change.
All right. What was that huge fair or the world largest fair that you talked about?
So it's the Kumbh Mela.
Kumbh Mela. All right. But there's something famous about Kolkata also.
Yes, sir, there are many things famous.
A very big fair takes place there. Also, lot of celebrations take place.
Durga Puja, sir.
Durga Puja.
Yes, sir.
So, have you seen any of the Durga Puja there?
Yes, sir. So I was there for 3 years, and I went to visit for the pandals.
Pandals you went there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Mridula, how has this idea of joining the armed forces come to your mind? I know your father was in the army.
Yes, sir.
Which arm of the army was your father?
He was in Army Service Corps.
Army Service Corps. What does Army Service Corps do for the army?
So it does the management and supply. It's basically for supply and transport of military-related resources.
Is there anything else also about other than these two things?
So sorry, sir, I was a child, so I don't know in detail about it.
Did you ever talk to your father about
Yes,
this?
sir, I've talked to it, but he has only informed me about that he was a driver, he was an empty driver, and he used to supply the resources to different places. That's all I know about it.
And which arm of the army has the maximum vacancy for the girls candidates?
So since I was not that interested in army, so I have no idea about it.
All right. Okay, but your father, did he ever tell you about these girls coming into the army?
No, sir. Initially, he was not interested for me to join the army. But when I came up with the idea of joining the Air Force, so the Air Force AFCAT vacancy, he was familiar with it and he was happy.
All right. So when did you really think of the army as a career option, or the armed forces, I say, not the army? And what all have you done so far in your life to prepare yourself for the armed forces?
So I realized the need to join the armed forces in my last year of graduation because since I have always been into that environment, so I have liked the discipline, that craze for uniform, that respect that my father always used to get. So I was used to it, and I came up with the idea of joining AFCAT through my brother. He informed me about it, and right from the last year of my graduation, I started preparing. Like I bought all the books, since I was always into self-studies. So I bought all the books. I searched for YouTube channels that could help me through the self-study, and I would feel myself lucky that I utilized the pandemic time, because in those 2 years I watched everything related to geography, polity. I studied everything. I practiced maths and reasoning as well. So I've been practicing this regularly.
Okay. Tell me a little more details about your education. Maybe you could start from class 10th onwards. Work up to your present level of education in each of the exams that you gave. What percentage of marks did you get? Which is the subject that you liked the most and why? Subject that you did not care for as much. Teacher whom you liked the most in your student life and why? Somebody who did not impress you as much. Talk about your friend circle, people whom you consider your close friends, whom you remember with fond memories. Some people with whom you did not really get along so well. Any achievement in your student life that you had, any position of quality that you were interested with, you could talk about. After your class 12th, what all competitive exams did you appear in? What type of preparation did you make for those exams? What exactly were the results? Talk a little more details about your graduation level and the post-graduation that you've done. I've seen that you finished your graduation in the year B.Ed in the year 2021. What have you been doing thereafter? Talk all these details.
Starting with my 10th standard, I have done my education in Prayagraj from Central Academy Schools. It is in Jhansi, Prayagraj district only. In my 10th standard, the main subjects were science, social studies, maths, Hindi, English, and side subjects like arts and computer. And I've scored 8.4 CGPA in my 9th standard, and 7.6 CGPA in my 9th standard, and 8.4 CGPA that equals 79.8% in my 10th standard. Then I opted for biology group, and I scored 71% in my 11th standard, and I scored 93.8% in my 12th standard with physics, chemistry, biology, Hindi, and English as the main subjects.
Okay.
Then I went to Allahabad State University, a constituent college called CMP Degree College. It's a constituent college of Allahabad State University. I did my graduation with zoology and chemistry as the main subjects, and I got 71.3%. Then next I have done B.Ed from Jairam Janki Mahavidyalaya. It is a constituent college of Allahabad State University. I scored 73.7% in B.Ed, and next I have done I'm currently pursuing my master's in chemistry from Allahabad State University. And talking about my competitive exams, I appeared for AIPMT exam just after my 12th, but I couldn't clear it. But then I have appeared for the university entrance exams and the B.Ed entrance exams as well. After completing my B.Ed, I appeared for state and central level teachers eligibility tests. They are abbreviated as UPTET and CTET. Then I have appeared for AFCAT exam. I have also appeared for PCS exam once, but I couldn't clear that. And these were the competitive exams mainly. And talking about my subjects, I was equally good in all subjects, as you can see through my grades. But there was subject in 9th and 10th standard, I had computer, and I did not really care to study that. I just studied to get passed in it. And mostly I liked biology and chemistry. I was interested in these two subjects, and I've been lucky enough to get the best teachers in my life. Since I was a good student, so every teacher almost liked me. I had good relations with everyone. Though there are some teachers, like my English teacher in my 11th and 12th standard, he had a flawless teaching style that the students did not even require to open book before exams. Everything got stuck in their minds. So I liked his teaching style. And currently in my master's, I have my inorganic teacher. He is also very supportive and helpful. So these are the two best teachers. And regarding my friends, I've said, I've got the best friends. I have friends since my 8th standard, since I came in Prayagraj. So those are my best friends. And I met a friend in first year of my graduation. She is one of the most positive and helpful persons I've ever met in my life. She is my best friend. And if I talk about my achievements that I have got, was that mainly I have done everything in academics. So I was always a girls topper, and also I was batch topper in my B.Ed.
Yes, very good.
These were the achievements.
Alright, name a few friends of yours. How comfortable are you in the company of the boys? Any of the boys in your friend circle? Talk about them?
No, sir. I've been fortunate to get any boy as friend. I was never into boys.
No, but you were studying in a co-ed school?
Yes, sir.
So there were no friends, boys?
Sir, we had only classmates. I was not as friend with anyone. We were just classmates. We shared good bond. We were helpful, but not as
Do you think there is a problem if you have boys as your friends? I am not meaning classic boyfriend that you have, but your friends who are there in your friend circle, how comfortable are you in the company of boys?
I'm comfortable, sir, but I've got friends who were not comfortable. So for the sake of them, I did not try ever to get into
So
boys.
were the boys afraid of you?
No, sir, they were not afraid of me, but I was a very shy and silent girl in my school. So it was because of this that boys did not ever approach me for friendship.
All right. What do you think about this? Measures that can be taken to make the safety of the girls that you have talked about in Prayagraj much better than what it is now.
Sir, it can only be with the help of administration. I feel that if the police and although we have the best policemen, but even if a single person does something wrong, that the finger is raised on the entire department. So if everyone shares the need of feeling the girls secure, so it could be better if everyone cooperates. And
is there anything which girls can do for themselves? Any self-help that you think?
So they can learn self-defense to protect themselves.
Have you done anything about that?
No, sir, I have never done it.
Why?
So I have not felt that need to, because I've always been accompanied by my brother or my father. So I never felt that need.
When you go into the armed forces, probably that is the one time when you will not be there in the company of your brother or your father.
Yes, sir.
How do you think you are going to take care of yourself?
So I'll learn. I'll definitely learn it. I'll work upon it and I'll improve myself.
Okay. Are there any teachers who did not impress you as much? You talked about teacher who you liked, but
Yes,
somebody who did not impress you as much, did you?
So as I said, I've been lucky enough to get the best teachers, but so I cannot actually remember of someone who has not impressed me much. But yes, there was a teacher who had extreme knowledge of his subject. He was a physics teacher, but he did not care to teach the student at the initial stages. He used to teach after 1 or 2 months when the exams arrived. Although he was very successful to make the concepts clear, but he wasted time initially. This was something he could improve.
What about your friends? I'm sure there must be some with whom you did not vibe so well, did not have such good relationships. Good to have good friends, but I'm sure there must be some incident that you may remember could have been well avoided.
So I had differences with a girl regarding some assignment, but we were able to sort it out and we became friends again. In my 11th standard it was.
Okay. So, you are already 23 years of age now?
Yes, sir.
23 years of age. When you look back at your life, how satisfied are you with your life? Are there any achievements so far in your life? Are there any regrets that you have?
So I believe I have achieved many things in my life. As you can see, I have done B.Ed and I have cleared the teachers eligibility test. So academically, and I am very eligible to join the teaching course. I can anytime go to any school and present my degrees and I can get a job easily. And my subject is also chemistry, so it will be good for me. So I think I have never wasted my time.
Oh, no, that's very good. But, having done your BSc, you said, and then gone on to do B.Ed, and now you have gone to choose chemistry as a major subject for your post-graduation. Is there any specific thought behind it?
So I had planned it initially at the time of my graduation only that I have to do these things because after my graduation I had to prepare for these one-day exams. So I applied for BA from a private college so that I can get time to study by my own. So I got succeeded in it, and after doing my B.Ed I went for MSc so that I could apply for postgraduate teachers with chemistry as a subject.
All right. Now a bit about your family. I would like to know about your father, your mother, and your brother that you talked of. Tell me about their education, their occupation, and monthly income of theirs. Also, what type of routine do you follow at home? Who is the person whom you approach when you have a problem or you want to share your secrets with? How are the friends in your neighborhood? Who are they? What activities do you do with them? What activities take place at home in which you get yourself involved? How much of pocket money do you get? How do you spend the money that you get? What generally are your major expenditures in a month?
Okay, sir. So my father is an ex-serviceman of the Indian Army and he is currently working as a security guard in a powerhouse. He is educated till intermediate standard and his monthly income is about 38,000 including the pension and the current income. And my mother is a housewife. She has no earnings, and my brother, who is 2 years younger to me, he is a student and currently pursuing BTech with mechanical engineering from United Institute of Technology. And regarding the time that we spend together is that we do not have to extract time out of our schedule to sit together because we live in the same room, we eat together, we have dinner, lunch, breakfast, everything we have together. So we spent a very good quality time together. And the activities that take part in my house are primarily the family gatherings, the pujas, etc. that take place in our house. Our entire family gathers, including the neighborhood. And I get involved in cooking and preparing the arrangements for those activities. And then we have, I'm unfortunate that I don't have any neighborhood friends because all the families that are in my neighborhood have younger children below the age of 15. And regarding my pocket money, I do not actually get a pocket money because there is no rule of getting the pocket money. But I spend approximately 2,000 to 2,500 in a month, and my primary expenditures are regarding my studies, my rent for going to coaching, college, etc. And these are my major expenditures.
All right. Now, tell me more about your brother. What are the things about your brother that you like, things that you do not like about him? Now, you are the eldest of the two. What do you think are the advantages of being the elder one, and what are the disadvantages of being the elder one?
So my brother is less than 2 years younger to me. So this is not a big difference. And we have always studied in the same school. From college time, we got into different colleges, but we have always studied in the same school, same coaching institute. We have been together. We accompany each other wherever we go, either to a family gathering or to some place like some park or anything. He is my biggest supporter, sir, I would say, for the armed forces. He is the one who influenced me to study hard and to prepare for both these things, especially for B.Ed. He always keeps me influencing that I have that power, that I can manage these two things together. He is the one that believes that I would get recommended finally after the SSBs.
What is it that you like about him?
Sir, his determination. Once he gets determined to finish any task, he would definitely complete it within time. That is the main thing that I like about him. And also I sometimes admire his overprotectiveness for me, that ultimately proves fruitful sometimes. And the thing that I don't like about him is his eating habits. He eats junk food a lot, and that is why he gains, sometimes he gains weight, sometimes he loses. So he had very bad eating habits.
So he's been motivating you to join the defense forces.
Yes, sir.
What is it that he has in his mind for his future career?
Sir, he's actually crazy for it. He's crazy for it. He has not appeared for IIT or JEE exams. And he had always in my mind that if he cleared the NDA, then he would apply for it. But he could not clear it. And after he got out of age, he applied for BTech with mechanical engineering. And he chose mechanical engineering for the defense forces only. And this is what he's currently doing. And apart from his studies of his engineering course, he's studying from Khan sir. He's a huge fan of him, and he's studying geography, polity, etc. to get a complete knowledge of it.
All right. In your own perception, Mridula, what do you think are the strong points of your personality? What are the areas of your personality you think you need to work and improve, because after all, nobody is complete?
Yes, sir. So, talking about my strong points of personality, I have that determination and perseverance to achieve my aim. And in the past few months, I've also realized that I can manage different tasks at a time with perfection and in a particular given time. And I have also been, since I'm the eldest one of my family, so I've also been considered to be the responsible one. Whatever task is being assigned to me, my parents, my family feels that it will get completed if it has come to me. And my areas of improvement, if I talk about the biggest area of improvement, is my physical strength. I really need to work upon it because as I have seen in the ground that I have less physical stamina. Although I don't eat junk food, but I don't eat healthy as well. So this is what I need to improve in myself.
Okay. How do you recreate yourself? What do you do to keep yourself physically fit? What games, sports, extracurricular activities have you really taken part in? What has been your level of participation, if any? Any achievements in those fields you could talk about? And what is it that you feel can be done to improve your physical fitness?
So regarding my physical fitness, the main thing that I do is I don't eat junk food. I rarely eat junk food. I drink green tea both the times. And I walk for several kilometers. It might vary between 3 to 5 kilometers with my mother. And since I was never an outdoor person, so I did not ever participate in some sport. But I did participate in badminton competition in my 11th and 12th standard, although I could not win it. But I have participated, and I had just represented my section in that area. And the biggest achievement was obviously my academics. So these were the things. And regarding improvement in my physical strength, I was thinking of joining some gym, and so that I could improve my stamina.
All right. So how you played sometimes, for some duration you played badminton?
Yes, sir.
That's very nice. Okay. Are you aware of those galleries that are there on the badminton court?
I'm sorry, sir. I've never watched it on television. So
No, but when you play a game of badminton, the badminton court has some galleries, side galleries, rear galleries.
So sorry, sir. I don't know.
No idea. All right. If not defense forces for some reason, what is the alternate career option? Where do we see Nidullah maybe about 5 years from now?
So after 5 years, I see myself working hard for the service in in Air Force. And if I talk about if I don't get selected, then I would try again for AFCAT until I get out of age. And after I get out of age, I have a plan B as a teacher. This is my plan for now.
All right. And what are your marriage plans?
So I don't have actually any marriage plans. My parents have this, and I would do according to them.
All right. Now, if you were to think of your life partner, what is it that you would look, that one quality that you think your life partner must have in him?
So every girl admires his husband or life partner to be just like her father. So this is the same case with me as well, because I've seen my father always disciplined, and the main thing that I admire about my father is that he doesn't care of the negative opinions that people give him when it comes to his own family. So this is what I'm looking for in my life partner as well, so that when it comes to his own family, he doesn't take care of what people's negative opinions are.
What negative opinion about your family does he hear of? Has he ever talked? Yeah.
So like since I am the eldest girl of the child, and I come from a locality where girls get married maximum at the age of 21 to 22. So I am the only single girl who had not yet married till the age of 23 years. So this is my biggest, I am blessed to have my father and my family. Even my grandparents did not ever force him to get me married.
Okay. All right. That's very nice to see.
Yes, sir.
But how important is this institution of marriage for the girls? What do you think is the ideal age for the girls to get married?
So I guess the ideal age is between 25 to 26, because till that time all men or women, everyone is expected to get successful and to get stable, financially stable in his or her life. There might be some reasons for marrying late, but I believe this might be the perfect age physically as well. Sir.
All right. All right. It's been nice talking to you, Mridula. I've asked you a lot of questions. You've replied them very well. Is there anything you want to ask me?
So I don't have any such question, but I would like to know about the service, the post that I would be appointed, because I searched for it on Google, but I could not get any.
What is it that you have opted for in the AFCAT?
So I have opted for logistics and administration, but I don't know the post that I could be joining.
No, you would. That means you would go into the logistic branch. You could be an administrative officer. You could be looking after the logistic part, logistic officer. So there are varied responsibilities that are entrusted to an officer.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that you don't have to worry, because as you will get into the service, you will get familiar with the various roles that you will be required to play. Because an officer will play varied roles in the organization. All right. You will be expected to do a lot of things. There is nothing one fixed appointment that you will get.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, so before we end our session here, let me give you a little bit of feedback on your interview.
Yes, sir.
First, the good points. I find you a very confident girl who tackles the questions quite well.
Yes,
but I would still advise that you learn that art of listening to the question a little more carefully.
Yes.
All right, so that you answer them crisply and to the point. Like things about percentages of marks that you got in each of the exam. You did talk about CGPA, you know? So maybe be a little more deliberate. You have a very good command over your language. You are able to speak very confidently, fluently. But the speed at which you are speaking is a little high. I will recommend that be a little more deliberate in your speech. Your modulation of voice is quite okay. Confidence level is quite okay, but it is the speed at which you are speaking is slightly higher, and maybe if you wear a mask, and then your voice may get blurred and it will become a little difficult to understand what you say. Okay. That is what you need to be a little more careful. Also, as far as your factor 1 is concerned, the quality of answers that you gave, those 15 qualities that we have talked about during our guidance sessions, those factor one, which is related to your mind, I find it's quite okay. Affective intelligence, the reasoning ability, the organizing ability, and the product selection is quite fine, except for your being more deliberate and ability to listen. Remember, a good communicator is also a good listener.
Yes.
So learn that art of listening the questions carefully so that you can tell them. Now there is a bit of doubt that you create in the mind of an interviewing officer by your being a little, I will say, self-centered, not being very gregarious by nature, not being very outgoing. A girl who goes to the armed forces should have, I'll say, be comfortable in the company of the boys. Shyness is fine. Being friends, I find, with the boys and all is fine. There is certain amount of thin line that you draw in your relationship with them. But friends are friends.
Yes.
Boys or girls should be okay with anybody. Maybe that you need to be a little more sociable, I will say, adaptable in your social, bearings, being friendly with people outside. Yes, if you don't have your age group in the neighborhood, maybe still you would be able to spend some time. Also, I find that your involvement in the outdoor activities so far has not been much.
Yes.
Although you played badminton, try and find out more about badminton.
Yes.
Alright, because after all, you have played, and maybe in your PIG form you could write it. If you can find out some more information, if you really played, and pursue it. Okay. Some hobbies, some interests you must always pursue, that will help you. Although you have written that you have the hobby of maybe watching movies, maybe develop a hobby of reading, that will also help you to a great extent. Your knowledge wise also, I found that you are reasonably well placed. There is not much of a problem in that area, but definitely you will do well. Be a little more sociable, a little more comfortable in the company of the other gender also. Because in the armed forces, when you go, the Air Force also, you will need to deal with men. Okay, and you come across as a very determined person and a person who has mental stamina, but maybe that physical stamina portion.
Yes.
You need to work on because you have not been into the outdoor activities so much.
Yes.
That is one area that you must really learn. About your PIQ form, I have been telling this during the guidance sections also. Please remember that don't leave any column in the PIQ form blank. Read the questions carefully, provide the information in the manner it has been asked for, and do not resort to any cutting, overwriting, or erasers. You have forgotten to fill up details about your father in terms of education and his occupation.
Yes,
That is something that you must guard against. Also, the fact that you are pursuing MSc could have been mentioned here also in your PIQ form, there was no problem. And since you have some idea as to plates badminton to some extent, you haven't achieved much, it's at casual level, but please do write out that if you have played that game, don't leave it blank. If there was nothing that you had played, then I would say, is there anything about the feedback that you want to ask? Any question?
No, sir.
Alright, Medula, I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Keep working hard. You still have more than a month and a half to go for your SSB.
Yes.
Keep preparing. Okay. And I would be very happy to see you come out with flying colors. You have the wherewithal, you have the resources, and you are an intelligent girl who's done well in her academics. So focus now for some time on to your preparation for the SSB, and I'm sure you should be. As an interviewing officer, probably there may not be any problem as to the clearing candidate of your quality is concerned. But you need to understand that it is not one technique. There are 3 techniques that are involved in it.
Yes, sir.
So how you perform in the other 2 techniques has a lot of bearing.
Yes, sir.
So please work on your physical standards. Keep doing your sit-ups, push-ups, so that you work on your strength, build a little bit of hand muscles. You are able to do your individual obstacle that will be required to do. Alright. Otherwise, your written expression also fine in your written work that you have submitted here in the Trishul Defence Academy.
Yes.
Very reasonably well done. Alright, there are places where in your hurry you there have been some syntax errors that you committed,
Yes, sir.
but do focus on being a little more deliberate in your speech.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you can be really more cautious about it, I think you should be able to do well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much then. Wish
you,
you all
sir.
the very best. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
जहां बनते हैं देश के गौरव, इंडिया का एकमात्र ऐसा कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट जहां कैडेट्स को ट्रेन किया जाता है आने वाले डिफेंस एग्जाम के अनुसार। अगर आपका भी सपना है भारतीय सेना में शामिल होकर देश की सेवा करने का, तो आज ही ज्वाइन करें त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी।